And we are on. Thank you for tuning in. It's Roselyne of rarebyRoselyne.com. I'm a natural health consultant that shows up online to help you improve your home, your hope, your health, and your happiness. I wanted to take this opportunity to really get clean and transparent with you all. Why did I stop out of my pre-med program, my medical program, and why I got into this space of natural health, natural medicine? Before I get into the details, I don't want to give you my entire life history, but I knew at the age of 8 years old that I wanted to go into health. And I wanted to go into health because my grandmother had a stroke at the time, and I, for some odd reason, felt that I was so powerful, so impactful, that whenever I was around her, that she got better. She was doing better and she was happier. So that seed was planted in my mind that I could do this. I could help other people get healthy. So I decided at that age I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to go into medicine. I actually used to say that I wanted to be a cardiologist because that's where my heart was. Okay, comedy is not my thing. I don't know if that went over your head, but nevertheless, that's where at 8 years old, I wanted to do this thing. Fast forward to me, I was in my pre-med program, and I felt like I could conquer the world, take over the world, and cure people and heal people. And then I found out that that is not necessarily what health is. Health is more allopathic medicine, I should say. Modern medicine, Western medicine is not that. It is not about healing or treating or curing people. It's more about putting a band-aid. And not to say that all of health is like that. I have met a lot of people in emergency medicine that do a phenomenal job, and I feel like there's a time and place for that. I just realized sitting inside of a pharmacology class that I was in and a pathology class that I was in that it wasn't for me. I realized at that point that I myself was a side effect because I was learning about the side effect of all these drugs and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, I am a living, breathing, walking side effect. So at that very moment, I decided that was not the direction that I wanted to go with my life. That was not the direction that I wanted to go for my clients, the people that I would help, the people in my circle. That's not what I wanted. And in being a walking side effect, I realized that the prescription medication that I was taking from the age 2 years old, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition that manifested in my skin. And I always tell people that talk to me, I was thankful that my condition manifested in my skin because I knew that there was something wrong. So many people walk around and they're walking among us. They don't realize that inside they're sick. So I was thankful for that, but I was on topical steroids. So basically putting a band-aid over it, telling my body, hey, be quiet. Don't tell anybody that you have a skin condition. So I was that. And then I realized I was a walking side effect. I was having the anxiety issues. I was having the fertility issues. I was having all the things that could happen with me being on a steroid for 23 years were happening. So I did something that I do not advise my clients right now to do. I stopped taking my medication cold turkey. I'm that type of person. I actually even stopped my pre-med program. I went in and I said, this is not for me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to participate in this system. And I stopped out. I took like a sabbatical. Is that how they would say it? I took a moment for me to really regroup and figure out what I wanted to do with my life, how I wanted to show up in the world, what I wanted to do. And I decided, and I found, or this school found me, rather I should say this school found me, where I was working at a college at the time. So I knew that whatever school that I decided to go to, it had to be accredited. It had to fall into all the things that they tell you need so that you could go out and get a job and do the things. So I did that. I got a bachelor's degree in alternative medicine a few years back, but even before then, I was applying what I was learning, and I was coming online and sharing, and I was helping people. After I graduated, I took it full-fledged, made a career out of it, made a practice out of it, started a business out of it. And I also, at this point right now, I'm coaching women that don't have that degree to do the same thing, because I realized that what they call alternative medicine is the true form, the natural base of medicine. So I help women to do that and to be able to make an income with it. So I come on here to tell you that I have value proposition, so to speak. Not only did I go to school for this, that we invested in my education, and I stopped out of school because I realized what it was and what I did not want to be. I right now have value proposition for the people that work with me because I have partnered up with a company. I'm an independent consultant, an independent nutritionist for that company, and it's in the space of nutrigenomics. I'm certified with the company, where I not only tell you the things that I've learned in my background, in my education in natural medicine and allopathic medicine and all, and not the background that I learned for what was allopathic medicine and stopped out of that, what I've learned in alternative medicine, natural medicine. I take those things and now I'm coupling it. This is that value proposition that I was telling you about, where I'm finding out what you need on a genetic level and making recommendations and helping support you on that journey. Right now, currently, I do work alongside a number of people in the allopathic space. That's why I tell you I am not against it. I'm a healthcare advocate. I go to doctor's appointments where I'm sitting side by side, face to face with doctors, with medical doctors, where they're making recommendations and I'm advocating for the person as far as a natural approach. So I say this to say that there is a emergence, maybe I'm not using the right word, where there's this opportunity where things are colliding in the space of allopathic medicine and naturopathic medicine, where things are blending, where we're seeing the science, the sound research, the science that's mixing with the herbal plant-based formulas to create those results that we need. So I say that to say I dropped out of my pre-med program because I realized for me, the type of impact that I wanted to make in the world was centered around a more natural approach. I'm Haitian, so we grew up with herbs and teas and tinctures and balms and all these things that you just rub on yourself and all that stuff. We grew up with those things, and I think that also helped plant that seed for me wanting to be in this natural space. Now that I can couple that science of your genetic predispositions, your DNA, with the research and the me-search and the studying that I was able to do, the things that I was able to apply for myself to get me off of 23 years of taking prescription medication to be taking this natural approach, to be where I'm on vitamins, and what I eat is my medicine, what I drink is my medicine, what I do is my medicine, like the physical activities that I do, these are the things that are my medicines. Now I'm helping you, I'm coming to you periodically, and I'm sharing with you what it is that I do, why I do it, how I'm able to make an impact, how I'm able to transform what you think is no hope and giving you a hope. That's why I tell you I focus on home, hope, health, and happiness. And this is what we'll be doing on this page moving forward. This is what we've been doing in the past. But I wanted to take this opportunity to go ahead and share with you what it is, why I'm here, how I got here. It's not that I didn't take the organic chemistries. It's not that I didn't follow those protocols. It's not that I didn't take calculus. It's not that I didn't take all the science, all the math. It's not that I didn't have the mental capacity to be a doctor, to be a medical doctor, but I decided that my heart is with helping people. My heart, I could have done this whole go to school, get that degree outside of the degree in alternative medicine I got. I could have become a doctor. I could have. But I decided that the route, the results, the impact that I wanted was not prescription driven, so to speak, even though I do recommendations. It was not driven in that way. It was more of a natural approach where I can say, you know what? I need you to food journal for 7 days so I can see the way you're eating. And don't lie to me, because I've done enough food journals for me to know that you're lying to me, where I can come to you and say that. It's where I can say, okay, you know what? Take a picture of your pantry and I'm going to show you those hidden toxins that are in some of the foods that you're eating. And we're going to do a pantry purge and purge those things out. It's where I can do a virtual shopping tour with you, where I can say, you know what, that food journal that you gave me and the pictures of your pantry, this is where we are at. This is where we're at. I see the type of things you eat. I see what you had. This is what we're going to replace them with through a virtual shopping tour or a virtual shopping list that I'll give you. And this is how I'm finding that the people that I'm working with, my clients, are seeing the best results, because we're bridging the gap between what your doctor might see as a problem for you, and I'm getting into the day-to-day of how did this problem arise. Recently, I was at the doctor's with someone, a close family member of mine, and I sat there and I saw the doctor tell her, okay, your blood pressure is high. Your blood pressure is higher than it was last time. And he says, you know what? I think that I'm going to recommend a higher dosage of your blood pressure medication. And then I had to step in, because I realized she was just like, okay, well, maybe that's what I'll need to do. And I stepped in and I said, why don't you tell the doctor that the last few days you haven't slept? Why don't you tell the doctor for the last few days you hadn't been eating a rich diet, a very alkaline diet? Why don't you say these things? And when I stepped in and made that recommendation for her to voice what's going on, because the doctor's looking at you for this point in time, whereas I am able to look at you for a period of time because we have that working relationship. So once she told the doctor that, the doctor said, we need to send you to medical school, as in they needed to send me to medical school. And I'm like, do you really? I said, I have a degree in alternative medicine. I actually stopped out of my pre-med program to take on this approach. I understand the value in what you're doing. And it wasn't even a medical doctor. He was a DO. So, he said I should be going to medical school. Well, that's not the direction that I want for my life. That's not where I want, because I realize we can have the same amount of impact, the same amount of results, better results without all the side effects if we take on this approach, if we take on this natural approach where you give me the opportunity to work for you and you work for yourself, where you're like, okay, I've had issues with losing weight my entire life, and I don't know what it is. And then we find out that there's a gene. You go ahead and look it up. This is free information that I'm giving to you. FTO, which is known as the fat gene, that could be impacting you. It might not even be you. So we start looking at these things. And I am there with you every step of the way, depending on which package, which service. If you go on my website, you'll be able to see it. I'll have the link available to you if you want, and it should be in the comment description as well, where you can see what my services are, what I offer. You can even book a single dose session with me where we can have this Spitfire hour of you and I going back and forth and learning where things are. Or if you decide to do one of my subscriptions where you work with me one-on-one, and we can go through and I can do a whole health history, learn about those things, and we can figure out what package works best for you to get results. But it's a matter of you taking the time to invest in yourself. I took the time after going to school. I was almost finished, about to get into my medical program, to stop out of that program and reinvested more time to learn the natural, the herbal remedies for things. So if I was willing to make that investment in my education so that I could show up for you and be able to give you sound recommendations, sound advice, then I am always glad to have the opportunity to tell you, you have to make that investment in yourself. It's not something that I will pressure you into, but if you see the value in having these conversations with me, if you see the value in booking me as your natural health consultant, then you're going to have to answer to the tough questions like, why did you say you had salads 5 days in a row when you know you didn't? And I see that you can tell that I will read you, I will be serious with you, because we only get one body. So we don't have time to play around, to mess around with our one body that we get the future of this one body. And I didn't want to do that with myself in the space of allopathic medicine. So I took on this natural approach. I got this degree in alternative medicine, and I'm making a name for myself in the space of alternative medicine. And I look forward to the opportunity to be able to work with you and help you along your journey. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me in the comments section. I'll also have my contact information where you can also reach me, and we can talk about booking a session. We can talk about customizing a plan specifically for you, and we can go from there. Thank you for taking the opportunity to learn more about this. And if you are one of those people that are thinking about getting into the space of natural health, natural medicine, feel free to reach out to me. I would love the opportunity to help you along that journey as well. And not to say that allopathic medicine, there isn't a time or place for it and that we don't need doctors. I just realized that some people have a different heart, a different passion, a different calling. And I'm one of those people, and I'm glad to be able to share that space with you. So, as always, the way that I always end my videos, reward yourself every day by making healthy lifestyle choices. Talk to you later. Bye.